Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Libra. So, Libra, as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So, Libra, I've been away for a few days. I was on a short trip just to recharge my batteries, but now I'm back. And I feel like I actually needed this extra recharge of my energy to start or get back on the horse in a sense with like a big blast of energy that I'm picking up on your reading today, Libra. It seems like there is a very intricate relationship dynamic going on here, and it seems like you're the one who is uh giving and giving and giving to two people that seem to have it's like they drink from you. They have something to gain from you, to receive from you, and you're just willingly so giving away because you can, because you have a big heart. But at the very end here, there is an important guidance for you, Libra, saying that it's time for you to receive. It seems like you have been juggling, I want to say, two people or two relationships or two very intense connections with these two people who seem to have like this desire to learn from you, to be around you, to just drink from your energy, right? And it seems like it's like these two people, they have very different backgrounds or lives, or to me, to be honest, it feels like these two people don't even know each other. It's almost like you have like these two very separate relationships. And it doesn't need to be romantic, right? It's like it could be, somebody from your work and a family relationship or anything like that, or two friends that don't know each other. However, both of them have very specific interest in the relationship with you, because we're beginning the reading with you showing up here as this Queen of Cups. And it was interesting because while this card was flipping out of the deck and falling on the ground, I was thinking about fragmenting, like the fragmentation of oneself, right? Can one person do many different things all at once without fragmenting? Is that possible? Or because of this limitation of the 3D, is hard to focus in so many different things, right? Like multitasking, for instance. And when this card showed up, I heard, you can, Libra, you have a big heart, you have a lot to give. But it's interesting because the way that it fell was upside down. And typically when I see this card upside down, well, generally all of my cards come upright, and I tend to read them upright. But sometimes, especially when the context shows something else that, there is some sort of subtlety embedded in the upside down position of the card, then I tend to integrate that to the message. And that's what's happening today with you, Libra, because the way that I was seeing this card upside down, although yes, it is upright and I'm going to stay with it upright, but I picked up on this very subtle message about you draining yourself. It's almost like you have so much to give, you have so much love, or you have such a big heart that you don't mind sharing, right? That's the reason why this card was upside down, because it's like it's coming from you. It's like you can give, you are able to give. And it's interesting because this is you. If you look at the thumbnail, you'll see that this is the card that is on the top, and then the first row of 3 cards is to whom you're giving this energy, because we have the Knight of Wands, the Temperance, and the Page of Swords. And it's so interesting, the dynamic that is playing between these 3 cards and you here, because remember, it's like you're pouring down, you're the one who is constantly filling this cup. But the thing about these two energies, who seem to be the two relationships, the two people that you are in this very dynamic, separate relationships, right? These two people the sensation that I have is that they don't know each other. Perhaps they do, but they are not familiar with each other, or they don't have the same degree of intimacy that both of them have with you. So it's kind of like you're the middle person, right? It's like you're the person that creates the bridge between these two if they do know each other. But perhaps they just don't, right? It's like you have a relationship with this Nine of Wands, and then you have a relationship with this Page of Swords, and you're constantly juggling. It's interesting because this Temperance today is kind of like having this the meaning of the Two of Pentacles card in the traditional tarot, right? Where there's this juggling effect where you're sometimes giving attention to this knight, sometimes you're giving attention to this page. And I feel like it's interesting because the question that I was thinking when this card came through for you, Libra, was, is it possible to stay integral, to stay, as oneself, stay whole without fragmenting, even when you are giving so much of yourself, when you are pouring the cup for two people, right? Because the way that I was seeing this was almost like, sometimes you're giving your attention, it's like you're not giving attention to this one because you have to fill the cup from coming from this night, and then it's the other way around, right? It's like you cannot give so much attention to this one, so it flips so that you can give attention to this Page of Swords. And both of them, because they're coming as the Knight and the Page, and you are the Queen, it's like this dynamic, at least so far, I should say, and I want to say it, the guidance here at the end is wanting to invert, or kind of like, maybe it's the reversal, right? Maybe that's the reason why I didn't want to keep this upside down and rather stay upright, because it's like, if you were to stay like this, it's like, it's not that this would end, right? As I said, it's like you do have a big heart, but at some point, these two cannot fulfill you. At least not the way that this dynamic is playing out, because they're just the Knight and the Page. So it's almost like they don't have the wisdom, the experience, the maturity, the knowledge. They just don't know how to fill your cup, right? It's like, you know very well, I should say, how to fill your own cup to the point that it's overflowing, that you can fill both cups, right? Obviously, you have to, give attention to one and then to the other. You cannot do both at the same time, but you are able, and you know how to give all of your devotion, all of your love to one at a time, and then to the other, right? So you know how much you have inside, that it's just your inclination, or maybe your desire to give, right? To give your love to these two people. But as I said, it's like, because of the way that they are showing up, it's like it's almost like it's not balanced, right? It's like you're giving way beyond than these two can give back, in a sense, right? And it's not because they are ill-intended, or like they are wanting to take from you, or they have their own personal interests, and it's nothing like that. It's just because in their process, they have a lot to learn still from themselves. And it's interesting because the next two cards is exactly talking about their own path. So here you see it's the Knight of Wands and the Page of Swords. So here we have the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So it's very distinct the way that these two still have things to learn, or still have to grow and mature and just learn, right? You seem to have already a lot figured out, at least in terms of your emotional body, your emotional self, how you deal with how you feel, like how it's like how you show your love for them. That's something that it's like it's how do I describe this? It's not that it's known, or it's like you are aware of your emotions. Let's put it that way, just for a lack of better way to describe this. It's like you are aware of your feelings, of your emotions. Therefore, you know that you can give, or at least you want to give. Both of these, they have their own paths. And that's the reason also that I want to emphasize the fact that they might not know each other. You are the person in common between them, because they have very, very different paths. This one, the Knight of Wands, is related to the Nine of Wands, which seems to be a very arduous path, right? A very, it's interesting, it's coming with the word laborious, right? They have to work a lot. And it's interesting because it's wanting to come through a little bit like the Eight of Pentacles meaning, right? It's like putting in the work. Because it's like, in Portuguese, there is an expression for somebody that is very, what is the word? Stubborn, right? It's cabeça dura. It's like, if I were to translate it literally, it would be like, somebody with, like this very, how do I translate that? It's like a very tough mind, right? It's hard to crack their mind. So stubborn, right? Stubborn. This one is coming through as stubborn. That's the reason why perhaps it's going to be a little bit harder for them. And maybe that's the reason why it's like this cup was towards them, because it's like they, in a sense, they are a little bit ahead of this Page of Swords, but because the Page of Swords is coming next with the Queen of Swords, I feel like they have like because of their innocence, also that's important, because of their innocence, they seem to have found a shortcut that they don't have to go through the same path, the same laborious and arduous path that this Knight of Wands would have to go or is going right now. Because it's like they jump, right? It's like they find a way to jump. And maybe it's because of you, because of the things that you're sharing with them, because of like your desire to give everything that you have inside of you in terms of your love, your compassion, your attention. So in a sense, this one will have perhaps a harder time, and this one will be like, it's going to be a very how do you say that, it's like a very steep learning curve. It's like, but they are going to find progress very quickly, right? It's like their process of growing and maturing is going to be very fast, especially in terms of knowingness and wisdom and knowledge because of the sword suit. This one, however, it seems like there is a lot of, it's almost like, the way that I'm hearing this, it's like unvoiced desires, or I don't know, I don't even know if that's the right way to say it, but it's what I heard. It's like unvoiced or maybe unexpressed feelings, desires, passions, drive, or creative flow or ideas because of the fire. And it's interesting also, sometimes I see this wand suit as connected to the symbol of a tree, but for now and for your reading today, it is wanting to come as fire and air, which, both of them are very complementary if we were to think about that in that way. And it's also very interesting because you are coming with the water element, you Libra being the air sign, which is very interesting because I feel like you are tapping into your own emotions in a way that it's like you know how to contain your emotions and to give exactly the right measure for each one of these ones that you're in connection with, right? It's like, because too much water would put down the fire for this one, and too little water would make this air very dry. So it's like, that's the reason why you have to, it's like you have to negotiate how much attention or how much of your love or how much of your devotion and water you give to each one of these, But you seem to have that, well, the Temperance card talks about this perfect alchemy, right? Learning how to perfect the amount of just ingredients or elements that you're going to give, right? So you seem to have that ability, that wisdom. These ones are, it's like they have their own path. It's like it's almost like their individual path. And it's interesting also because the 9 to me represents the individual path. Although here, you know, it's like the upgrade from the Page to the Queen of Swords. It's almost like it doesn't take long. It's like it's going to be very fast. This one, again, it's going to be a lot more just harder for them. I'm not getting exactly why, but it seems to be related to the specificity of their individual lessons or their individual path, and why they're coming up so stubborn, right? Like it's hard to crack their mind. Maybe that's a reason. Okay, so here they're coming with this helmet. So in a sense, you are giving what you know that they can receive to make this a little bit less burdensome, although it's their path. It's like there's nothing you can do to change that. But in a sense, the difference to this one, and maybe that's the reason why this is going to be quicker, it's like their evolution or their quantum leap in terms of knowingness, it's going to be quicker because they're coming a little bit more open. Although there is a big discrepancy, I want to say, between you, right? Because you're showing up first as the Queen and they are showing up as the Page. It's like very soon they become this Queen as well. So it's like they pick up very fast the things that you're giving to them. Maybe even if you're giving just a little amount, it's like it's not about the quantity, but the quality of the love that you're giving to each individual at once, because it's exactly what they need for their own evolution. And it's almost like it's like you can only control what you can give. You cannot control how they're going to receive, which seems to be the big difference between how each one of these two are receiving your help, your knowledge, your wisdom, your love, your attention. Again, it's like this one seems to have maybe they have to it's interesting what I'm hearing right now. It's like they have such a strong will. Maybe they are very stubborn in the sense that they are not one to say to accept very easy, right? It's like they have their own strong will and very like they're set in their ways in a sense. So it's like even if it's hard, it's like they're going to go until the end, right? And this one is very, it's like it's very open. It's like they don't have, it's like it's a very easy clay to mold in a sense. And so their jump is very quick, right? It's like they upgrade very quickly. So it's very clear the relationship between you and these two people. But then here at the very end, with this 10 of Cups ending this message, this is coming here as guidance for you, Libra. Their path is their path. It's like how they're going to receive what you're giving, it's up to them. This is not something that you can, it's again, because of your wisdom in giving just the necessary amount for each one, but knowing that there's nothing that you can do to use what you're giving, right? Or to control how they're going to accept that, how they're going to integrate that. Know that it's perhaps very different, right? And each individual, these two people are very different. So they're not going to receive it the same way, and they're not going to use it the same way that you're giving them to be used as. It's like, it's up to them, right? So use that wisdom also for yourself, knowing that the part that you can take in this, or Everything that you can do for the best of these people in this, you know, dynamic to play out in a good way, to be fulfilling for you as well, to be replenishing for you as well, is to give as much as you can, but know that it's time also to receive. And perhaps I want to say the one that is capable to give to you, right, is this Page of Swords, because it's like the Knight of Wands is still going to be in their laborious path. So maybe they won't have the energy, maybe they won't have the time, right? But this one, because they upgrade too fast, or maybe in a fast pace that for them is okay, it's not like it's going to break them or anything like that. It's perhaps, you know, some sort of an awakening moment for them. But allow them to give back to you, because the tens talk about the shared path. And that's the interesting thing. The Knight of Wands, because they are still in the Nine of Wands, they are still supposed to walk this path individually, independently of how much you love them, right? It's like they have still things to go on their own that you cannot do for them, right? However, this one, because they are having this quick upgrade or growth, or like this burst in their mind that is just cracking their consciousness open, this is the shared path that is going to give back the amount of love or everything that you're just wanting to give, right, to both of them. So even if it doesn't come equally, right, this giving back from both, just know that the one who is ready to give back to you, it's like it's because they have, it's almost like they have processed or they have incorporated what you have given to them. So now they are able to give back to you in this form of the Ten of Cups. I hope that makes sense. So it's a very intriguing and very different message. And it's like, again, it's very intricate, like the dynamic that is playing out between all of you, right? So allow yourself to receive from whomever is ready to give to you, and know that you can still give, but when it's time to receive, do that for you. So Libra, I am going to pull more cards for you, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.